And we're live. Okay, I was not planning to do this stream, but there's just so much stuff now. I gotta cover it. So this is gonna be a little bit sloppy, but here we are on HeroQuest fans. Welcome. If you're watching us on Twitch, we are live. I don't know for how long. If you're watching this on YouTube, we're not live. Anyway, I'm sure other people have covered this already, but I'm gonna cover it myself. So in the HeroQuest fans Discord, a couple people have been posting stuff from Reddit and Facebook. So I'm not really members of either, but I'm going to go ahead and share what they've been showing. So first thing, we've got the Rise of the Dreadmoon. People have gotten their copies. So fan unboxings are happening as we speak, hours ago. So this is the Alchemist deck, or the Alchemy deck actually. I keep wanting to call it the Alchemist. Cheers to all of our fans in the HeroQuest fan community, everybody who cared to share. So we've got Potion of Frost skin for 300 gold coins. We've got Potion of Dexterity for 100. These look very similar to what we've seen before. Potion of Defense, which is crafted. Potion of Battle Rage, 400 gold coins. Celerity. Drink this potion to move up to 12 squares in your turn instead of rolling movement. When you attack, make 2 weapon attacks instead of 1. See, that sounds like the Elf Potion of Speed. It's crafted. Heroic Brew, crafted. We've seen that before. Ogre Grog. It's considered a rare delicacy amongst collectors. 20 gold coins. Drink this potion, roll 1 combat die. If it lands on a skull, lose 1 mind point. On any other roll result, you are unharmed. Oh, so it's like just you're partying. It's just bad for you. Okay, Potion of Battle, 200 gold coins. Okay, so that's the first one I've got here. Okay. Obviously this person is sharing like all of their stuff. So there's the tiles. So we just get a close-up. That definitely looks like a garden of some kind. There, and the 5, and then we've seen all this stuff before. It's just arranged. Okay, Potion of Speed. 200 gold coins, Potion of Restoration 300, Potion of Recall 400, Magic Resistance crafted. Okay, so you don't know how all this works. Potion of Magic, from Prophecy of Telor crafted. That lets you recover up to 3 used spells. Potion of Lesser Healing 200 gold, Potion of Healing 500. I apologize if I'm missing the chat. I'm just trying to get through these. Thanks for your support, everybody. Potion of Icy Strength 200. And I forgot to thank Amalgamash. He's done a lot for us. Always Bored, Never Boring. Sir Death. Great guys. We're Strange Bus. Potion of Icy Strength. Yeah. Okay, Dawn Shield. The golden shield shines. The radiance of light is break of day. Armor. The shield grants you 1 additional defend dice. Once per quest, before any one hero's defend dice are rolled, you may use the shield's power to force the attacking monster to re-roll all attack dice. It could be bad or good. This artifact may not be used with the battle axe or staff. May not be used by the wizard. Okay. Spell Scroll Swiftwind. Okay. Spell Scroll Pass Through Rock. Yeah, the Swiftwind scroll is completely new. We've only seen that in one of the, I think the magazine quests. Not an official quest. Phoenix Ash. Hey, there we go. The last remnants of a legendary phoenix. You may use this artifact once per quest when any hero is reduced to 0 body points to instead reduce them to 1. Oh, so just like Stalwart. Immediately roll 1 red die. On a 5 or 6, this artifact is lost. And any other roll result, keep this artifact. So it keeps going. Use it as a reagent to craft 5x potions of healing. Wow. Or 1x elixir of life. So that's very useful. But how do you get these cards? The Scales of Elethorn. Gleaming armor crafted by the finest elven artisans. Armor. This enchanted armor grants you 1 additional defend die when you attempt to resist the effects of a dread spell while wearing this armor. Roll an additional die. This artifact may be combined with the helmet, shield, and or wizard's cloak. The Cloak of Shadows. That was the name of a particular spell tile. The Dark Mantle threaded with silk of the Umbra. As an action, you may use the power of this cloak to become insubstantial. Sounds familiar. On your next movement, you may move as though the spells, Pastor Rock, and Veil of Mist have been cast on you. See, that was the thing people often wonder about. Well, I can go through walls, but not through monsters. What about furniture? This artifact may be used once per quest. So it's kind of like a remix of the Elven Cloak of Passage. It doesn't say only the elf can use it, of course. Interesting. Okay, Raven's Talon, we've already seen that one. Okay, the Knight skills, we've already seen that. Potion of Strength is crafted. Potion of Superior Restoration, 800 gold coins. Potion of Unforeseeable Fate. Drink this potion to draw one random card from the Alchemy deck. The effects of the card you draw are immediately activated. Crafted. Okay, so there's a redraw in there. Interesting. Potion of Vision, 500 gold coins. Caltrops. Oh, I realize you're not seeing all this. Sorry. Caltrops. So 100 gold coins. We've already seen that. Once used, the caltrops are lost. So that's each. Yeah, okay. Smoke Bomb. Hey, that was always a fan favorite. See, some of these are like obviously drawn from the fan ideas and of course inspired by other games too. Use this item anytime during your movement. A thick cloud of colored smoke envelops any one monster adjacent to you. Until that monster's next turn, all heroes move unseen to the monster's space. Okay, once used, the Smoke Bomb is lost 100 gold. Interesting. Reagent Kit. Okay, here we go. A clean, well-crafted set containing scrawling formulas and alchemical tools. I love it. Use this item as an action to transform one reagent into potions listed on the reagent's card. You must be standing adjacent to an alchemist bench to use this item. Well, there we go. We'd all been speculating about that, wondering. And it kind of seems like logical compared to a lot of fan ideas, so I like it. After the reagent kit has been used 5 times, it is lost. 400 gold coins. So you buy it. Okay, so that makes me think alchemist shop between quests you're buying this stuff. So you're buying certain things and then you're getting other stuff to use later. I suppose you could always be given it in a quest too. Okay, Knight's skills, all the same as far as I can tell. There's the alchemy card, looks great. Okay, so interesting. So we see some faces on the back here. Kind of hooded character. Who does that look like? Some celebrity, like an old elf man and an old elf woman. And we finally see the back of the 5. It's just a face. What does it mean? Who knows? And then here's a nice room with some treasure and furs and a looks like an alchemist bench or a wizard's table or just a desk. Oh, and these shields all have 1s on the back of them. So there's a 1, there's a 5. What do they mean? Who knows? There's the masks. Okay, so these are empty cloaks. Are these the dread cultists? It's funny because as I'm doing this, somebody already has the answers out there. Like, all right, just keep going. Channel Dread, we've seen it before. Summon Specters. This spell conjures up a group of undead to surround and protect the spellcaster. Roll 1 red die to determine how many specters appear. 1, 2, or 3. Yeah, it's like Summon Undead, but it's Summon Specters. Dreadlights. So not Deadlights from it. The spell surrounds any one hero in the spellcaster's line of sight with eerie tongues of ghostly light. All monsters roll 1 additional attack die when attacking the affected hero. So they can really target him. Oh man. The spell can be broken at once or on the start of the hero's future turns by the affected hero rolling 1 red die. And roll 5 or 6, the spell is broken. Okay, so not based on mind points. So you can target the wizard and get rid of him. Okay, so this is just repeated. You're the knight. Okay, it's repeated. Okay, so they've given them different names. Interesting. So the scout looks to be exactly the same. It's 50 gold coins, same ability, 9, 2, 3, 2, 2. Yeah, exactly the same. Arbalist is the crossbowman. 6, 3, 3, 2, 2. Same. Glaive instead of, oh man, it's like Krull. No, it's the halberdier. 6, 3, 2, 2, 2. Yep. And then, of course, we've already seen the striker, which is like the swordsman. So they're identical. No difference, unless there's something else there. Okay, and then we've seen these guys. So I think that's all the new pictures, but more are coming. Oh yeah. Let's look at some of these here. So the open box has happened. Let's see here. Okay, I just need to see what's going on. Oh, okay. All right, so this is the box. So this is the French version that we're seeing. So some awesome fan shared these on Reddit, Facebook. So we've seen the quest book and everything. Okay. Yep. This is just that again. It's a joke. Game developers. Yeah, this was a meme I found. It's pretty funny. Okay, but where is the rest of this stuff? I thought there was more. I know, that was quite a bit. Okay, here we go. So this is the candy tray. So we've got the knight. Yeah, these miniatures we've all seen before. They're just packed in there. Nice and neat. Okay. And what else? Yeah. We've seen this before. It's just in the candy trays. So I guess they got a little dice tray in there too, in theory. I mean, who would do that? I don't know. Because you just have this negative space. I guess you could cut it out with the scissors, but why bother? So yeah, this little thing here. So, okay, so I guess you don't really need the, you don't need this. Unless that's, well, I guess for the crafting, you just use an alchemist bench. So if it's in a quest, you've got a ready-made place to do it, which is cool. I always thought that'd be cool, you know, like just like if you have a spell that works with the fireplace. Well, anytime there's a fireplace, there's your opportunity. And whoever designed the quest maybe had no idea, you know, or weapons rack or sorcerer's table or whatever. So no real surprises here, but it's just kind of there. I wonder if it's glued in there. If it's all one piece, it's not removable. So there's our spoilers. And there was another picture too. I want to say it was like the inside of the box or inside of the quest book. Let me just pull that up here. Once again, thanks to everyone who shared these, and sorry for my disorganization here. Photo dump. So this is Vincevo 1985 on r/HeroQuest. Photo dump as promised of the new expansion. Spoilers for cards, but no missions. Part 2. Alright, so a message from Mentor. The Princess Melandriel has been safely returned to Queen Terelia and her people. Ah, spoilers. But despite the festivities, I fear a great evil still simmers in Elethorn. A contingent of Guardian Knights, loyal swords of the realm, had been sent to aid Queen Terelia and bring to light the shadowy forces working to destroy Elethorn. But our communication with them suddenly ceased. Oh, it sounds like the Dark Company. Just kidding. I initially believed it was due to the princess's return, but I've come to discover that the mirror gates that once connected Elethorn have been tampered with, preventing travel and communication with the kingdom. In our last correspondence, the knights disclosed that they were following the trail of the traitorous Guardian Knight, Sir Ragnar. Oh, he's a Guardian Knight now, is he? Who is allied with Zargon's agents in Elethorn. We now approach the night of the Dread Moon, or the supermoon that's happening in real life. An astrological event that happens once every 1,000 years. The Dread Moon, or the Chaos Moon, bolsters the dark influence of dread magic in these enchanted lands. Unfortunately, the pages of Lore Tome offer a little guidance. Well, Lore Tome seems to be malfunctioning quite a bit lately. I think you need to get some workers on that. As the shimmering runes shift with Elethorn's uncertain fate, it will require time we do not have to decipher their meaning. I thought we had time travel on HeroQuest. Oh well. Heroes, you must unravel the civil unrest plaguing the Elven Kingdom, and if Lore Tome and my intuition are correct, your presence will not be accepted kindly. See that Queen Terelia and the Guardian Knights cannot see. Oh, see what they cannot see. Stop the forces of dread from destroying the kingdom of Elethorn. As the night of the Dread Moon draws near, It's like Night of the Living Dead. Dread magic clouds my power. Guard yourselves, heroes. Remember well that even the darkest of nights must yield to the rising sun. See, before he just acted like he couldn't do anything, but here he's just like, oh man, I'm just getting stymied at every turn here. All right, and then this wonderful person is showing off hiring mercenaries. Can't even talk. Just reading this over. Mercenaries are always disguised, regardless of what weapons and armor they use. Interesting. Oh, so is there going to be some palace intrigue, some stealth missions here? Arbalist wields a crossbow. When adjacent to a foe, they attack with a broadsword. Yeah, so no surprises there. Once mercenary's been oh, here we go. See, I'm tripping over my words. I'm just trying to get through this. It's pretty exciting. Okay, once a mercenary has been unlocked, a hero may hire that mercenary between quests by paying the gold coins listed on the chart above in the mercenary's cart. More than one of the same type of mercenary cannot be hired for the same quest. So even if you buy 2 copies of the same quest, says who. The mercenary will move and act on the designated hero's turn until the quest ends or the mercenary dies. Heroes may retain that mercenary's aid in following quests by paying half the mercenary's cost, rounded down, per quest. If a mercenary dies, they may be hired again for a future quest. Their gold coin cost resets to the full lifted amount. Alternatively, a hero may spend 1 reputation token. So another use for these tokens, reputation token, to hire a mercenary instead of paying the limited cost. The mercenary remains with the hero until the mercenary dies or is dismissed. You are dismissed. Mercenary hired with a reputation token will remain with the hero in following quests, no payment required. So it's getting a little bit more complex. You are the ultimate authority in the HeroQuest world. See, I see that quite clearly. Let's turn that music down just a little bit here. Alexander Nakarada, Random Mind, Keys of the Moon, and several other great royalty-free artists. Okay, drinking a potion. No action required to drink a potion. In case anybody wondered, there's no limit to how many potions a hero may have in effect at a given time, unless specified on the potions card. Thank you. So stack away. The potion's effects and how long those effects last are listed on the card. On their turn, a hero may pass 1 of their potions to another hero. If the 2 heroes are adjacent and neither hero is adjacent to a monster, no action required. See, because we always took it as, yeah, you can just pass all your potions to them. When a hero uses a potion, they cross that potion off their character sheet. If a hero's body points are reduced to 0, they may immediately drink a potion that restores 1 or more body points. In this quest pack, heroes may obtain a potion of unforeseeable fate, which prompts them to draw and activate 1 random card from the alchemy deck. If a hero's body points are reduced to 0, they may immediately drink a potion of unforeseeable fate in an attempt to draw and activate a potion that restores body points. Interesting. Elven Mercenaries. Loyal soldiers, blah blah blah. Available as the quests progress. Okay, so again, I was speculating there that maybe you'd find them and get to use them. You'd have some benefit to doing the solo quests. Let's see if that's true. Let's find them before they can be hired. Well, there's only 4 of them though. 1 of each. Follow the quest notes to know. So they're pretty valuable for just regular mercenaries. I mean, you've seen us play the Frozen Horror on HeroQuest fans. They get killed like left and right. Then again, if you put all this effort into like finding them, maybe you just like be really, really careful with them and like use magic to keep them alive. Maybe your reputation is at stake. Okay. So the heroes follow the quest notes to know when a mercenary may be unlocked. When that happens, the heroes choose 1 from among 4 elven mercenaries included in this quest pack: Striker, Glaive, Arbalist, or Scout to unlock. They couldn't come up with a new name for the Scout, maybe like the Tracker or the Hunter. Oh well. The Tinkerer. Zargon, study this book carefully. Know that even though its instructions are designed to guide the players through these adventures, they may not answer every question you have during play. When in doubt, use your experience and imagination to crush the heroes. Make the best choice. Remember that you are the ultimate authority in your HeroQuest world. Amen, brother. Amen. And that's exactly what they say in the Elf and Barbarian packs, too. Disguises. Okay, so this is page 9 already. A hero may go disguised by taking a disguise token. Oh, okay, so that's the masks, I guess. No action required at the start of quests that allow it. So only certain ones. Heroes must keep a low profile to be considered disguised, avoiding large weapons and loud magic. Got to put a silencer in that fire of wrath, I guess. Disguised heroes must always adhere to the following criteria or else lose their disguise. Oh man, they put stealth missions in Hero Quest. An attack unarmed or with a dagger. Short sword, hand axe, or staff. Interesting. Stealth weapons. Refrain from casting spells. Wear no armor other than bracers and helmets. And possess a disguise token. A hero retains their prohibited equipment, but it cannot be used while they are disguised. Interesting. A player with a disguise token must surrender it if they ever break the rules of use. A hero remains disguised as long as they do not use prohibited equipment or cast spells. At any time on their turn, they may surrender their disguise token and disguise. No action required. For the purposes of disguises, artifacts are treated as the item they represent. For example, Born's armor counts as plate mail and is prohibited, but a wizard's cloak is not armor. It may be used when a hero is disguised. Well, that's interesting because cloak is armor, but okay, whatever. They've redefined it. That's fine. Alchemy cards. Here we go, finally. A collection of powerful magical consumables for heroes to obtain as they adventure. Some of the potions within the deck are available for purchase, while other powerful elixirs may only be found or crafted. Keep this deck within reach of all players. So I assume we saw all the cards there. It's a good number. I was hoping for more. Still, pretty nice. Craft potions, like craft brew. Between quests, or craft cheesy dinner. Okay, between quests or while adjacent to an alchemist bench. So finally, we know. The wizard may transform a reagent into one of the potions listed on the reagent card. It's more than one. Some reagents can be made into different kinds of potions or more than one potion. Using a reagent kit allows any hero adjacent to an alchemist bench to craft potions from reagents. The wizard does not need a reagent kit to craft potions. Boom. He is the alchemist. See, I told you guys. The wizard is the alchemist. The alchemist is the wizard. But it's nice that other people can do it too. Because, I was saying like, yeah, why not? After crafting, the hero records that potion. I mean, maybe he taught them all a thing or two. After crafting, the hero records that potion on their character sheet. Once the potion has been made, the reagent has been used up and may not be used again. Do not return the card to the deck until the end of the quest. Okay, so all this has got to be done within the quest or between quests. So I guess you're taking the cards out of the deck and then it's like you might as well use them, but then they could be, yeah, okay, it replenishes as they get used up. No, it takes a whole quest before you can get it again. Interesting. So you might be able to just drain the deck and just be hanging on to it until it's time to use them. But the ones you buy, I assume, would go back in. So it's kind of like the alchemist shop. Okay, interesting. I'm just thinking about it. Okay, random potions. When a hero is prompted to take a random potion, which I approve, Zargon shuffles the alchemy deck and the hero draws one card from that deck. That hero records the potion on their character sheet and returns the card to the alchemy deck. Additional artifact cards. Raven's Talon, the Cloak of Shadows, the Scales of Elethorn, Dawn Shield, and Phoenix Ash. Amalgamash. These artifacts are similar to the artifacts in the Hero Quest game system. No kidding. When a hero finds one of these artifacts, they record on their sheet. Spell scrolls. We already know about spell scrolls. Function like the spell scrolls in the Hero Quest game system. Additional treasure cards. Shuffle the treasure cards from this quest pack into the Hero Quest game system's deck of cards before play begins. Draw from this deck when a hero searches for treasure. Blah, blah, blah. Reputation tokens. Finally. Okay. Heroes will find opportunities to earn and spend reputation tokens as they adventure. Additionally, Zargon will award one reputation token at the end of each quest for the players to share. So kind of like a leveling system. Okay. These tokens can be redeemed at various times. Zargon must declare when the heroes have the opportunity to spend a reputation token per the quest notes. Zargon does not have to reveal what the heroes are spending it on until they have spent it. Interesting. Reputation tokens can be sold between quests for 250 gold coins each. There's a lot of opportunity costs here, which must immediately be used to purchase something from the underground market. Ooh. Any excess gold from the sales of the reputation token is lost. This exchange may be done even if a hero cannot visit shops between quests. So sometimes you can't. Okay. Heroes may also spend one reputation token to hire an elven mercenary if one is available to them, instead of paying their listed cost. See hiring mercenaries. Remember, Zargon should award the heroes one reputation token to share upon completing each quest. Unarmed combat. A hero with no weapons rolls 1 attack die. A hero without armor rolls 2 defend die. Well, that's no different, but it's nice that they clarify it and put it all in there for you. Assassin, an expert assailant who patiently waits for the moment to strike. Okay. Dread cultist, a devoted, abject to the forces of dread, something, or subject to the forces of dread. Okay. Dread moon spells. Okay, we were wondering about this. Monsters on this quest pack may cast spells on heroes. Each monster may cast each spell they know once per quest, regardless of if another monster has already cast that spell. Well, okay. Certain monsters have spells usable at will. In those cases, the listed spells are always available to cast as an action. Each spell's effects are listed in detail. Well, I guess, okay, so if you've only got like one Firestorm card, but 2 monsters have that ability, it doesn't mean like one guy uses it up and the other guy can't use it, I suppose. Mind points. In this and other quests, it is important to keep track of heroes' mind points. Blah, blah, blah. Shock. Okay, it's the same. Okay, spells that affect a target's mind points, e.g. sleep, cannot be cast on monsters with no mind points, e.g. specters. So it's kind of like a rule clarification. Hideouts. Heroes do not have routine access to shops, but sympathetic people will bring them supplies. So those goblin merchants, well, maybe, and leave them in hideouts. Okay. In the safety of a hideout, heroes can patch up wounds and avoid guard patrols. Okay, so a storyline way of explaining how you're shopping in the midst of a dungeon, I guess. Each hideout comes equipped with an alchemist bench, may be searched for treasure once per quest, and is safe from threats. Any wandering monster or hazard cards drawn when searching the hideout do not take effect and are immediately returned to the bottom of the deck. Nice. As an action, once per quest while in the hideout, each hero may roll 1 red die and restore that number of points, divided among their body points and mind points, not exceeding their totals for each. The hero decides the distribution between the 2 pools of points. For example, if they roll a 5 on the die, they can choose to restore 3 body points and 2 mind points, or 5 body points and 0 mind points. Making us do math. What is this, an educational game for kids age 10 and up? Spectre, an undead and ethereal apparition. Okay, it's just the same. Sure. All the materials from the book. So yeah, thanks to this Vincevo 1985 and everybody else playing the quest, starting and ending. Elven archers appear in several quests and are under Zargon's control. 4 dice. Yeah, no difference. Large monsters take up more than 1 square. Ethereal monsters. Here we go. Everybody wondered about this. I didn't think it was that mysterious, but ethereal monsters may move through heroes, walls, and other solid objects. Okay, so that last one is different. But they must always end their movement on an unoccupied space and may not move into undiscovered areas. Okay, so that answers that question about them hiding in solid rock and cheesing everybody. Not undiscovered areas. When rolling attack dice against an ethereal target, a hero must roll a black shield instead of a skull to hit that target. Oh, shoot. So they're even harder to hit. Oh, my. Well, okay, so I did not see that coming. Ethereal monsters are unaffected by all traps, including caltrops. Well, there you go. Placed by heroes. But what if I soaked them in holy water first? Did you think of that? All right. So, interesting. So they're going to be very hard to hit. Unless you're using blue dice. Think about that. Okay. Learning as we go. Hideout. That's what that is. Okay. This tile indicates a temporary lodging for the heroes that has sleeping areas and a makeshift alchemist bench. Interesting. So kind of in quest, between quests. This tile indicates a Caltrops trap on the board. Zargon, hidden Caltrop squares are marked on the quest map. Do not place a hidden Caltrop tile on the board unless a hero moves onto the Caltrop square and triggers it. Okay, so it's me the other way around. A monster never triggers a hidden Caltrops tile on the quest map, but will trigger a Caltrops tile placed by a hero. So we have dueling Caltrops. When a Caltrop tile is triggered, the target rolls 1 combat die. If the white shield is rolled, they may continue their movement. If movement is remaining, on any other roll result, they must end their movement. Remove a triggered Caltrops tile from the board if the hero monster ends their turn. Reputation token. Okay. Finally, we guess. Well, I didn't guess what this was. This token represents the hero's renown in the area. Reputation tokens are spent on a multitude of beneficial effects that will reveal themselves as the quests go on. So the 5 thing and the 1 on the back side of the tiles. Plaza. Oh, okay, that's what that is. Indicates a large open air space in the city. Any room a plaza is placed over completely will not count as having walls. The plaza will effectively extend into the corridors. If it cuts into other rooms without covering them completely, the boundaries of the plaza will count as walls along its borders. With rooms it does not fully cover, monsters in the plaza are inactive unless they are attacked or an undisguised hero or active monster enters the line of sight. Plaza cannot be searched for treasure. Interesting. So it's kind of like the marketplace square. Strangers. Okay, so that's what those little things are. These tiles represent people. So we've got our between quest journeying, I guess. Interesting way to handle neutral areas, which are found in other RPGs. This tile represents people the heroes may meet in their travels that are not clearly friend or foe. Strangers with no given statistics flee if attacked. Oh, so might they be bad guys? Hidden? Of course, you give yourself away. Smoke bomb. This tile is used to mark monsters under the effect of a smoke bomb. All right. I've been going for a while. I should check the chat and see if anybody's... Okay. Yeah. Elverg, thank you so much for your contributions. The scoop was awesome. Thank you for posting. Wizard can craft potions for free. Others need a reagent kit. You're so right. The room is the hideout. The ones are reputation tokens. Cloak figures are disguises for the heroes. There are 3 different links I put up in Discord. Thank you, Elverg. Better pictures in the Reddit post. The new table with the clear token is named as Rack, Arcane Prison. Everyone is going to just give their reagents to the wizard to make potions. Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, it doesn't say they can't be transferred. There was a hideout in the Crypt of Perpetual Darkness. Oh, I forgot all about that. I did not remember that at all. Nice. Thank you, Elverg, for those clarifications. Yeah, I was just so excited just to consume it myself. See how greedy I was being. You've seen this stuff. You've had a chance to think about it. I haven't. I've just got home from work, basically. Yeah, it's kind of a hard day for me, to be honest with you. But I'm not going to get into all that. Now's the time to have fun. Look at this stuff. Okay, so next, component descriptions. Oh, this is just the miniature furniture. See if there's anything here. Oh, the sorcerer's table. If a hero is playing as the elf or has a lunar charm, they can restore 1 lost body point and 1 lost mind point if they search a room that contains a sorcerer's table for treasure, in addition to any other effects of searching. Okay, so nice little interactive effect. We'll see. I always thought the elf should have something like that, but I just gave him like a lesser version of whatever the wizard, the alchemist had. So, of course, that implies, too, it doesn't have to be the elven version of this furniture. It could be anything. So you could apply these rules to other quests to kind of enhance and modify them, potentially, which I think it would always be fun. A new way to experience it. Mirrors, secret portals, blah, blah, blah. Disguise token. Yeah, so that's what the mask is for. A hero surrenders their token if they cast a spell or use prohibited weapons or armor. Sometimes you might want to, if you just get a lucky hit on somebody. Lunar Charm. Okay, so that's what that is. This token indicates that the hero is in possession of a lunar charm. Heroes collect lunar charms as the quest progresses. Okay, so I was totally wrong about that. I was thinking maybe they were like a monster pool for Zargon or something. Trapdoors. Yeah, it's really the same as the other trapdoors. Okay, statues. Each statue is an impressive sculpture of an elf champion from an earlier age. Okay. Kind of makes me think of the tile actually for the mummy tile from, was it Keller's Keep remake? Elberg says you're good. Seeing it like 5 minutes before you. No damage. List on the trapdoors. Yeah, Verg, I appreciate your feedback. So, I mean, if you can put up with me. Elves know how to run their tunnels. Yeah. Well, oh, yeah, I get what you're saying, because the Frozen Heart, or no, the Mage of the Mirror trapdoors have a potential to do damage. I was thinking of the ice tunnels from Frozen Horror. I'm getting them mixed up in my head. Yeah. Okay, so here's, I feel like we've seen this. Oh, this is just, all they did was just add the background. We've seen this before. Okay, adventure continues. Even shows you what the tile sheet looks like. Okay, underground market. See, it makes me think of the open air market from the Mage of the Mirror draft notes. But items in the underground market may be purchased between quests when allowed. Zargon, do you allow it? I allow it. Read the quest notes to know when the underground market cannot be visited. You gotta use Bitcoin or Ethereum. Sorry, guys. No Dogecoin accepted. Okay, the underground market sells the new items listed below. All potions with gold values in the alchemy deck, and all items available in the armory from the HeroQuest game system. Oh, okay. Heroes may sell items to the underground market, so long as the items being sold are available for sale in the underground market. The hero receives gold coins equal to half the item's listed cost. Rounded down for the sale. Okay, so there you go, half price for potions. I mean, we kind of guessed that, but I always thought a potion should be full value. But the problem is, the way I play, people get a lot of potions, so they're gonna get like too much gold. So I just said, you know, all sales are final. Caltrops, 100 gold coins. Reagent kit, 400 gold coins. That's pretty darn expensive. I mean, that's the price they put on the holy water, which I frankly think is not the right price, but that's me. Okay, smoke bomb, 100. Okay, so it's about the same. That's the last one. Let's see, was there view spoiler? Okay, so we looked at everything. Yeah, 12 posts. Okay, nice. But no missions part 2. Part 2. Wait, so there's a part 1? Alright, I'm gonna have to take a look here. Alright, well guys, pretty neat. Pretty interesting. Verg says may still vary by quest. Yeah, that's the thing. The quest notes can modify anything, anytime. There's the Arcane Prison. Oh, Arcane Prison. For some reason I read that as poison. Defined. Well, no, defined, but there it is. So I'm not sure if it's just an alternate version of the torture rack. Oh, so that little basin with the plastic water, or if there are game mechanics tied to it. Underground market seems a little confusing. Is the currency here separate from user gold? Had cards, books, images of all the minis. Okay, so I'm gonna try to see. Oh, okay, there's more. All right, fine. All right, we'll look at some more pictures, again from Reddit. Not a member of Reddit, I'm just looking at it. Okay, so just more pictures of the miniatures. Yeah, they're kind of skinny, dark red, or purple, violet, magenta, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, he's put his own stuff there for comparison. Okay, so that's what it looks like. That's an arcane prison? Interesting. Well, we were kind of speculating, well, maybe it's like a freezer and Sir Ragnar's in there or something. So it's kind of a cross between a tomb and a water fountain or something. It's you lift it up and there's ice cream bars inside. Delicious. Oh, there we go. Interesting. Like Jello Prince is in there. That'll be fun to paint or not paint. Yeah, I was not expecting that at all. I was thinking just generic water or maybe some wraith or something, but it looks like a person. A Jello person. So he's trapped in there. Okay, it's kind of hard to make out any details. Probably if you put some wash on there. Oh, there's a big face. I guess that's a face. These are probably little faces. Statue. It reminds me of some Reaper bones. They have like statues. They're just like, you could cut it off the base and just use it as a regular figure, or you could just paint it stone color and say, hey, look at this awesome statue. It's pretty cool looking. Very stereotypical, of course. Was it Amalgamash that was asking if that's a sky orb? I don't know. The stress ball. It's probably the lighting. But yeah, that doesn't look very bright blue. It's delicious chocolate. Table. Very ornate. Looks like it would hurt a lot if you put somebody through that. Ah. Other than the scythe, it reminds me a lot of the Chaos Warlock. I love it. I mean, just give him the little ring helmet thing that the Chaos Warriors have in the old classic. He'd be right up there. Except instead of his hands like he's grabbing the sky, he's like ready to fan out with his hands. Jazz hands. Monster hands. Magic hands. She's like, looks like she's about to skip rope, like hee hee hee, just having fun. It's like, no, I'm gonna kill you with this violent quest, cute quest, violent quest. Okay, so looks like there's some empty space. They could have put some more figures in there. Come on, Hasbro, what are you doing? Trying to save money? Still, seems like a good value for what they're offering. Okay, so Verg. I like your commentary. So the Arcane Prison. 1x2 for the Dread Wraith on its base. Yeah, it takes up 2 spaces. I'm not a fan of 1x2s, but still a cool mini. Yeah, the original Frozen Horror was 2 spaces, barely. The Giant Wolves were like 2.5. And then of course the new Frozen Horror is 4, like a Dreadnought. Which is kind of crazy because it's obvious they just wanted to make a big figure. Like the rules don't even, he just defined as not really taking up that much space. Okay, so let's see what else he's got going here. So that was part 3. Is there any way to paint the clear pieces to make the details more visible? Oh, yeah, you could paint them with like a really thin ink probably. Okay, so that's the cards is part 2. That was 12. Photo dump part 1. Oh yeah, this was back to the cards again. So that first thing I showed was part 1. So let's count them. 4, 12, 20. Assuming, you know, there aren't any dupes that he's hiding. 20. Are the spell scrolls in there too? 27. Oh no, these are artifacts. Okay. Well, I was thinking 12 was my guess originally, and I just thought they were going to copy and paste from the Alchemist shops of all the existing quest packs, so I was wrong. 12, 20, and these are not. So 20 cards. Well, it's not bad. I can guarantee you fans are going to be printing out a lot more. And I mean, you could say, well, there's going to be too many in there, too many to choose from. But, you know, it adds to the randomness. You could swap them out, have alternates. Seems like ripe for replayability and modification. Oh, I didn't cover these. Okay. So, sorry about that. I didn't look at these. Sacred, so these would be, so 28 of them? Or no, these are treasures. These are treasures. Okay, sacred plant. Elven healers have been using this plant medicinally for centuries. I bet they have. Those elves were high, man. Couldn't resist. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Consume at any time to restore 1 lost mind point. Do not return this. Okay, yeah, so, alright, till the end of the quest. Use as a reagent to craft 1 potion of restoration or 1 holy water. Interesting. Holy water from a plant. I don't know if I like it, but I kind of like it. Okay, mysterious flower. That's the one we saw before, so that was dexterity or defense. So there's 2 each of the sacred plant and the mysterious flowers. Unidentified ingredient. See, you could print more of these and just go wild. A mysterious essence ground into fine powder. And the fact that you have to like earn these in a sense makes them more interesting to use, I guess. Used to craft potions. Do not return this card to the deck until the end of the quest. Use as a reagent to craft 1x random potion by drawing 1 card from the alchemy deck. So you get the treasure, and then you draw a random. So it's like 1 random to another random. I mean, I guess. Poison. Your throat constricts as you tasted poison. Roll 1 combat die. If it lands on a skull, lose 1 mind point. Or on any other roll result, you are unharmed. Return this card to the bottom of the deck. So there's 2 of them. I don't really like poison, because I figure you do it once, you're not going to get fooled again. Then again, it could always be a different bottle. It could be always a different flavor. You just randomly chugging stuff, trying to teach kids not to do that. I like it better if it, it's something that explodes in your face, but I guess it's like a poison gas trap or something. Let's see. Elverg says, I'm sure we'll see more cards as we move forward. Heck yeah. I'm tempted to start printing them out right now. Opens the door that Prophecy of Tellar could be jam-packed with added cards to build your deck. Yeah. They often called HeroQuest in the North America Potion Hoarder Edition. Well, prepare for more potion hoarding. And, a lot of us fans familiar with Eilden, we've been using potion decks for years. Decades even. So this is right up my alley. And the fact that it's not just straight up, here's a random awesome thing, kind of makes it more interesting. So we'll see how it plays out. Some people may be just like, I don't have the patience. Come on, just give me the thing. I want the thing. Yeah, they could play on each other for all we know. People may buy it just for the deck. It's going to be like Magic the Gathering. No, it's not. No, it's not. This is a dungeon exploration cooperative dice rolling game. Not a deck building game. But whatever. Okay, so anything more? You just took... Oh, okay, here's the monsters. Yeah. So the Elven Warrior is the same. Elven Archer is the same. Dread Cultist. 7 movement squares. 2 attack. 2 defend. 1 body. 2 mind. Okay, each Dread Cultist may cast each of the following Dread spells once per quest. Dread Lights and Channel Dread. So Dread Lights is the one where everybody goes after the same guy. I forget where that was. Okay, here it is again. All monsters roll 1 additional attack die when attacking the affected hero. Okay, well they don't have to attack him, but they get a bonus against him. So kind of like a reverse of fear. It's just boosting the monsters against a specific target. So I assume the app would know that somehow. But otherwise, these guys are a little stronger than skeletons. As far as they're pretty easy to kill, it looks like. So I was expecting maybe they'd be like the Wizards of Morkar, like big boss guys. These are like weak. But they do have 2 pretty meddlesome spells. So depending on where they're placed, of course. Everything depends on the monster placement. They could be wandering monsters for all we know. So the Dread Wraith, here we go. 9 movement squares, 6 attack dice, 4 defend dice, 5 body, 5 mind. So bruiser. Each Dread Wraith is ethereal. What does that mean? Oh, it means that you have to roll black shields to do damage instead of skulls. Dang. You may cast each of the following dread spells once per quest. Well, how about a potion that makes the heroes ethereal? How about that? Dread Lights, Channel Dread, Fear, and Summon Specters. So my idea, well, I'm sure I'm not the only one, that it's like the Pain Elemental in Doom 2 that spawns the Lost Souls, or like the generator from Gauntlet. So you got to kill it so it's stopped. Well, But it doesn't keep generating them. It's just like summon undead. It does it once. Okay. So not exactly. The big blob that spits out smaller blobs. Okay, so here's the assassin. So we don't have to wait for the reveal. Each assassin may attack diagonally. Kind of guessed that. 10 squares. 5 attack. So 5 diagonally. Dang. 3 defend. 2 body. 3 mind. So it's stronger than a swordsman in attack, but weaker in defense. It seems pretty unique. I mean, they're just kind of mixing all these up. Magus Guard, we've already seen it, of course. 8 movement, 4 attack, 4 defend, 3 body, 3 mind. Same as a Chaos Warrior, just 1 extra movement, and he gets Ball, Flame, and Tempest. Which on its own would not be that big a deal. But if they're in groups, if they're with other monsters, especially if you team them up with Chaos Warriors, it'd be pretty powerful. So now that we know the Spectres, okay, they're harder to kill than we thought. So you got to roll Black Shields, but they can't go to unexplored areas, so they could never go into solid rock to hide. So they did think of that. Berg says, with the added magic spells that Zargon is going to be utilizing, the potions are going to be a good offset to that power. Yeah, that magic resistance. And nothing says you can't mix stuff in from other treasure decks or other alchemist shops. It says each Dread Wraith, so it's not the BBEG. Big Bad, I don't know what BBEG stands for. BBEG? Help a poor guy out. We'll see them throughout, so they're more like a gargoyle, a rare mob. Oh, okay. Not the final boss. The final boss just happens to be a Dread Wraith named Steve. Big Bad Evil Guy. See, why can't you just call it Final Boss? Or... yeah, for a while they were saying Big Bad. Why Big Bad? Like Strong Bad? I don't get it. It's Reddit! Okay. Sorry, getting silly here. I need to eat some dinner and relax. What a day. Okay. So here's the mercenaries. The Elven mercenaries. See, they're not even calling them the Cadre of the Raven Vale. They're just calling them Elven mercenaries, so fine. I guess the organization is not necessarily these 4 guys. Like, there's more to it. Or 2 guys and 2 gals. Mercenary. Okay, well, so they've got their own unique card. Interesting. So, yeah, I was thinking, oh, it's a generic card and they all look like the Striker. This is a better idea. They just have their own. But instead of putting a monster. So I guess there aren't going to be any evil Elven mercenaries. Unlike the other. Like in Frozen Horror where they could be one or the other. Night skills. Don't see any differences. Just the artwork. And this is what, I mean, all those people who got pissed off when they saw that GameStop was sold out like the day of. Now they can finally get it. But you only get 1 in the box. So you have to buy 2 copies if you really want 2 of them. To paint or whatever. Yep. Okay, so just like the other one. Wait a minute. Okay, so the shield, the reverse side of the Raven shield is a 1. So that's your reputation. Caltrops are the same on both sides. But wait, some of the caltrops look like little purple things. Are those the hidden caltrops? So there's like monster caltrops and hero caltrops. They just don't think you're going to buy more than 3 of them. I suppose they could double. Okay, 4 disguises. I'm trying to see what like the reverse side are. So the mirror's over there. Oh, okay. So the disguises are also trapdoors. And, oh, one of them... okay, interesting. So one of them is the assassin, and one of them is one of these Elven mercenaries. Interesting. If I'm aligning it correctly. And I'm not just super tired. Okay, so there's those. I know, guys. You know the answers. I'm just figuring it out. Trying to figure it out on my own here. So you flip over the old man, and he's like, "Haha! I'm this person. You thought you fooled me, but you didn't. I fooled you. and then the hideout is the other side of the plaza. So you assume whenever they do this, they're not expecting them both to appear at the same time in a quest. But, I mean, it isn't necessarily true that, oh, you flip it over and it's that thing. It's just, they wouldn't happen at the same time. So there's the neutral area, and then there's the action set. So those moon things, they are different on each side. So maybe that's like used, not used. Yeah. So this is not what I was expecting these would be for. I hadn't guessed. Interesting. Elberg says, oh, smoke. You're right. It's the smoke bombs, not monster caltrops. Mainstream antagonist it could be, but BBEG is a common term. Yeah, common for some. So you don't get them right off the bat. You unlock the ability to hire them as a merc after encountering the cadre of the Raven's Veil, it seems. Yeah. My thought, though, is who cares about these guys? Why not just hire regular mercenaries? Same price. But you could say, just because you own the game system in this, you might not own the Frozen Horror. Because with the remake, that's the only way you're going to get those mercenaries otherwise, unless you just proxy them. So maybe, okay, there's only 4 mercenaries to hire, and you're going to get them all, right? Oh, I see what you're saying, Elberg. If you had the regular mercenaries, they would just be for gold, so they're the same. But you earn the rep tokens for fighting and winning the quest, and then you use it to hire them. Because that can't be used on the normal shops. But here's the thing. Unless I'm missing something here, to me that just sounds like it's just further removed. It's saying like, oh, you beat the quest, and instead of giving you a pile of gold that you're going to use to hire mercenaries, I'm going to give you a token that you can then cash in to buy a mercenary. Like, what's the difference? Is it just that you don't know that cashing in the token will give you a mercenary? Or you don't know that how many tokens you'll get? Or how many you'll need? So Zaragon doesn't have to be like, oh, dang, I can't believe I gave them 500 gold. Now they're going to buy all the mercenaries. Or 900 gold. Now they're going to buy all the mercenaries. I should have given them 500. And I guess the Rise of the Dreadmoon has its own shops, so you'd have to use those shops in the other quests. You'd have, like in other game system expansions, you have to copy and paste that in there. You couldn't just like Frozen Horror says, well, you just use any alchemist shops you happen to have. Just a special currency for a limited merc without dumping your gold. These mercs with rep tokens don't have to be paid between quests. So the upkeep cost. I'm just thinking if those tokens are worth 250 gold. Yeah, I'll have to think about it. I'm just trying to imagine why is this system better other than just delayed gratification or just a different stylistic way of doing it. Like, to me, it almost sounds like you're just adding a step. But maybe I just need to reread it and think about it. And plus, in individual quests, it may happen differently. They will stay without. Yeah, but that's why the currency is odd for the UG market underground. I mean, I guess it serves purposes of the story. It's saying like, oh, your gold's no good here. Is this a guy we can trust? Oh yeah, he's earned our trust. Okay, well here, why don't you have this? Versus like, oh yeah, I found this gold just like in a pile somewhere. Like anybody could have it. So maybe in that sense it serves like a storyline function. Because I guess the joke would be like, oh, you guys aren't really heroes. You're just mercenaries too. You're just soldiers for hire. You don't care. You're not good guys. You're just greedy. You just sell out to the highest bidder. It's like, no. I mean, you're good guys, but you also want to be paid. It's a job. There's a risk. You figure you deserve to be paid. Fair wage. Okay, so these are smoke bombs. Well, I guess that's a fuse. I mean, it's hard for me to see that, really. because you've got the linen finish and the light reflecting off of it. I mean, no offense to the guy who took the pictures. I mean, I'm glad you shared them. It's just, yeah, the tray of rolling. That's funny. It's just a box. It's a box made of leatherette, but still. Yep. Okay, well, unless there's more, I'm kind of tired. I think I'm going to just call it. I could check the Discord just to see if anybody said anything awesome that I'm missing here. Let's see, new release spoilers. So yeah, definitely check out HeroQuest Fans Discord. So Verg is really talking it up, and thank you for your contribution. If I didn't thank you in the list, I'm thanking you now. No tile for Sir Ragnar on there. Yeah, unless he's in disguise too. Think about it. He's in the arcane prison. He was there the whole time. It wasn't the real one. Or maybe he's a pod person, like, you know, the real Sir Ragnar died years ago. Looks like I'm not sleeping tonight, says Elviler. Yep, Elviler's game room is going to get updated, you know it. And Amalgamash and Sir Death vids and Always Bored Never Boring and Jordan Sorcery and Joe Kozier and everybody, Warbuilder 22J, everybody's going to have some video talking about this stuff or post pictures. Blaze says Magical Shield, called it. Armor the wizard can wear, did not call it. Yeah. Hispazargon says first impressions, maybe not enough data available yet. The healing and magic potions for me are too cheap. See, Hispazargon's always tweaking those things. It's like, no, it should be this price. I appreciate it, man. I really do. Same mistake about their gold prices as shown in Prophecy of Teller Quest pack. Unfortunately, not corrected on this new one. But the nice thing is you can tweak it to your heart's desire when it's your game. But I hear what you're saying. You're trying to like make it equivalent to something, you know, some scale, create a criteria for it. Good to know the Big Spectre is finally introduced to be a regular monster, not just a Sinestro single monster. I agree with that. I like getting use out of my miniatures, not just, oh, it's once, one and done. That seems like something like a GM would do, not what a board game would do. That's nice. The assassin rules look a bit vague for me. It seems their only special rule is so well seen one before attack diagonally. Lunar Charm, disguises, and reputation tokens look cool and interesting stuff. However, a bit afraid about being two RPG add-ons. Can't wait to see how they'll actually work during games. That's Hispazargon once again. Especially worried about disguise tokens. They look as force tools to nerf the hero's power they got from previous campaigns. Well, see, I'm noticing a lot of that. But I mean, when you think about it like this, Frozen Horror and Mage of the Mirror assumed that your heroes were mega powerful. And so it's like, oh, well, how do we do this? Throw in tons of really devastating traps, tons of really powerful monsters with all kinds of gimmicks, and lots of rooms. So just overwhelming. And that makes the campaign take like 4 times as long to complete, which is fine. But I mean, for some people, it's like, dang, like HeroQuest went from like 1 to 11. Whereas this, it's like, okay, we're going to nerf everybody. Then again, maybe some lower level heroes won't be nerfed as much as they would have been. So I don't know. It's just a different tactic to make it interesting, to increase the difficulty without necessarily just saying, oh yeah, everything you have now is useless, or the bad guys are all like upgraded to meet you. I like the dedicated explanation about how to proceed in case a hero has 0 body points owning a potion of unforeseeable fate. It will avoid many discussions between players. Elviler says, well, so what happens if you use the potion of unforeseeable fate and draw a potion that is not healing? I guess you would die unless you have another healing potion. Do you lose the new potion? Well, but what if you use the potion of unforeseeable fate and you draw another unforeseeable fate? So now you got to draw again. What if you just print like 100 of them and put them in the deck? Just kidding. Nice. Okay, so thanks for the pictures. I'm going to check Rumor Mill just to see. I just preserved some comments from the last stream that we did, which is Warbuilder 22J says, no ogres and no wolves, but iron hurts ghosts. Iron hurts ghosts. Yeah, he's trying to think of ways to do things. Sub to all those people. This is KRS. Oh yeah, a good friend of mine, we were talking and he subscribed. Thank you for that. You know who you are, friend. May the sun shine warmly on your face, sir. Okay. Biggest Magusmus, says Retrocade fan. Overboard says, I'm looking forward to the new content. I haven't played this since the 90s. Well, welcome to the party. Retro Arcade fan says, enjoy your content, XSC. It's the home of HeroQuest fans on YouTube. Wordbuilder J22, who is Jacer J, says, I'm also excited for Rise as well. Yep, so that was our last video. Amalgamash is back in our HeroQuest Discord. Welcome back, Ash. This is the steel cage, and you're in it. And I got you for 3 minutes of playtime. No, that'll have to come later. I'll have to do another collab. That'd be great. And he just commenting on the fact that it was a homebrewing fan that won the notes on eBay from another fan. That's a given. But the point is, somehow those draft notes got out of the heap of the Hasbro vaults. And so the fact that they still have theirs means that they might have more than the fans have, and they could finish the dwarf and wizard packs if they wanted to. But the only thing is, if there's that missing piece, that means that whatever they create and what the fans create is not guaranteed to be the same. So it's kind of like you could have the fan version and then the much more well-known official version, which is fine. I mean, there'd still be a reason to buy it because obviously fans can't mass produce stuff at the quality that Hasbro can afford. And hopefully they don't shut it down. I mean, they could always just change it into something else. Or they may just make their own brand new Dwarf Quest pack that has nothing to do with the original concepts. Because nobody's nostalgic for that stuff. Only a few people know about it. Let's see. Okay, in the video section, Elverg is... He says, I don't agree with your criticism of the Magus Guard. Fair enough. Mathematically, it has similar stats to the Dread Warrior, but the way it plays on the board and the enemy it represents is entirely different. When designing a monster or enemy in HeroQuest, you are limited to single-digit values that range typically between 1 to 4. The amount of variation you can have is fairly small. By that argument, is the Guardian Knight just a dwarf with Freeborn's armor ability and some different skills? Well, some people did argue that, Berg, at the start. Why do we need a new mini for that? But the thing about the heroes that's different is, in theory, each one of those is represented by a human player. Whereas with a monster, it's like, I've got 50 monsters and they're all the same. They just have a different miniature. So, I mean, it's pretty. It's variation for your eyes, but the rules are the same. Whereas if you have 2 different heroes playing 2 wizards, it's like, okay, well, they're the same hero, but different people are controlling them. You know what I mean? Whereas Zargon is just one person. So all his monsters obey his... I mean, yes, he could have 2 goblins and he could control one goblin in a completely different characteristic way than another goblin. I guess we're both right. I mean, why do you need a new miniature? You don't. They could have given us 2 more Chaos Warriors. That would have been sweet, and just given different poses if you want variation. They decided to give us a slightly modified version. So I don't know. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's just, is this a slippery slope to let's just give a miniature for everything? It's just slightly different. Like, okay, here's a skeleton who moves 8 squares. Here's a, whatever, a mummy that moves 5 squares. I'd argue that the Magus Guards are not variants of Dread Warriors. There's a similar enemy being high armor and mobile. They are completely in line with scaling the elf enemies we received and made to the mirror and Rise of the Dread Moon. Elven Archer, Elven Warrior, Magus Guard. Oh, he just lists off the stats. No, I appreciate your thoughts, Elverg. They have the same attack die as the other Elven enemies, an increase of 1 defense over the Elven Warrior, since they're in heavy armor and shield, a gain of 1 mind point, which is reflective of their ability to cast spells. I guess that the Assassin is going to be in line with the other Elven enemies as well in this manner. Oh, he posted this before we saw all the spoilers, so fair enough. My criticism of the Magus Guard, this is Verg's criticism, is in its movement speed. But that was my criticism of the Dread Warrior. It doesn't make sense that these bulky plate-wearing enemies are so quick in moving across the board. Well, that's the thing, though. If you sold your soul to Dread Magic, you could do that too. I only imagine that it's because these enemies represent a more elite force unit in the game, and the elves are just naturally one faster. Yeah, because the heroes are in HeroQuest are slowed down by plate mail. It slows your movement way down, which many would point out is not realistic. But the knight has no restriction at all. So it's a leftover from the original game. They intended it to be, okay, you get the super powerful armor, but it's really expensive and it slows you down. And Born's armor is great because no speed restriction. The story in Rise of the Dreadmoon doesn't appear to be about facing the dread forces we've seen every expansion. Most of these new enemies were originally a part of Elithorn. They're not dread elves. They're elven forces who have either defected, controlled by magic, or maybe are really from the realm of reflection. You talked about the point that seeing a Magus Guard leading a group of Dread Warriors would be interesting to see. But imagine that we see a Magus Guard leading a group of Elven Archers, Elven Warriors, Elven Assassins, and Rise of the Dreadmoon. What's going to be so much cooler and better than another Dread Warrior proxy with different stats and spells? My point was, they're so similar to Dread Warriors, you could just have a Dread Warrior and give him a couple spells. What's the big deal? But the fact that you already have, like everybody that's playing this has 4 Chaos Warriors already. But we're going to give you 2 blue Chaos Warriors that have spells on top of that. So you could put them in the same room together, rather than saying, okay, well, two of the Chaos Warriors have spells and the other 2 don't. Like, you know what I mean? So they could have just given us more Chaos Warriors and then put it in the notes, but they decided to do it this way. It can go a lot of different ways. I know the bottom of the base point, the bottom line, Stone Cold said so, is that in HeroQuest anything can be anything, and you can make anything up you want. So, and it's, in that sense, you don't need anything. You can just have little pieces of paper. This just is charming because you have different colored, different textured, sculpted figures that makes it pretty. And maybe it sparks your imagination for something else. Like, oh, this guy's holding a hammer. Well, maybe he can do hammer stuff. Like, okay, why not? But he doesn't have to be holding a hammer. He could be holding anything. New minis are different for the story being told. Yeah, I get it. But my thing is, they're allied with Zargon. So why would it be that, oh, they'll only allow elves in their army? Obviously not. There's going to be other monsters. Like, I would be absolutely shocked if you looked at the quest map and there was only the elven characters. Like, why would they do that? I think it'll be, you'll see skeletons, you'll see mummies, you'll see orcs, you'll see goblins, you'll see regular Chaos Warriors, Dread Warriors, Abominations. You'll see them all. Gargoyles. And these new monsters will be just to kind of buff it out. But I could be wrong. I'm just thinking, like, why would they pair it with a game system and then not use any of the game system pieces? You want more, not less. Because you're not just opening the expansion and just playing it. You're putting it with the game system. You're using, besides just the boards and the dice and the hero stuff. Well, anyway. Yeah, elves were created 30 years ago in Mage of the Mirror. Multiple enemies now have the ability to cast spells, whereas prior to this, you could perhaps only see 1 or 2 dread spells every couple quests. Yeah, pretty much. That's fine. I mean, they're upping the difficulty. They're assuming you're past the game system, possibly even past Mage of the Mirror, so it's going to be harder. This is a way to make it harder. Zargon throwing down spells is going to be a much deadlier challenge for players in Rise of the Dreadmoon, says Zelberg. I imagine the difficulty level could be high just on that alone, not to mention all the elves have a high attack, 3 body points, 2 to 4 defend dice. Well, at the same time, I mean, it could be a situation like the Dark Company, where there's all this super hard, super crazy, super random stuff. But they've also built in like little places, like you can go to your shrine and maybe get some body points back, or oh, maybe you'll find an elixir of life that you haven't seen before. So in theory, I mean, in actual practice, was it balanced? Who knows? But in theory, it's like, yeah, you embed these little respites. So just like you're playing a first-person shooter, and it's just like, dang, I'm fighting like all these cyber demons. This is crazy. And after you fight the cyber demons, then you're in a room that's just packed with like power-ups, and you're getting the BFG, and you're getting, the Berserk and this, Soul Sphere and all this awesome stuff. So then the next fight, you just go in again, and then you get charged up again, and then you go in again. I mean, they could do that. So it would feel like it's super hard, but they'd also be giving you lots of bonuses to make up for it, rather than just having everything be really scanty. But that's quest design. Who knows if that's really what they're going to do? Pretty soon we'll probably have a spoiler that actually tells us. And so Elberg, I love your comment. So he says further, this expansion may very well be the first time we have a very different feel for the standard orcs, goblins, dread warriors, gargoyles, and undead HeroQuest games and expansions that provided some sprinkling of different monsters here and there, with 8 different elf enemies, 4 cultists, 3 specters, and a wraith included. Just Rise of the Dreadmoon alone, there are enough enemies in this box that the OG monsters from the base game may be the rare ones we see on the board. But I don't think that they'll be absent, is the thing. Now, I am curious about scalable difficulty, if they'll do that or not. The thing is, if you run room to room, you may still, cheers Dead Gamer, you may still run out of monsters. You may still need something to throw in there, and there's the basic monsters for you. You stated a worry about monsters only being used once, but most encounters rooms are only 1 to 4 monsters, and difficult quests seeing 5 or 6 in some cases. Well, except for Return of the Witch Lord, which had 12 skeletons in one room, plus others. With 7 different monster types, including 16 figures in total, I think we'll see each figure multiple times. Well, and you could also say the Mage of the Mirror remake, they gave you way more elves than are actually used in any of the quests. Why did they do that? Who knows? Just for stylistic reasons, I guess. Well, I want to have only girl elves in my... No, I want to have only boy elves. I want to have an equal distribution. Okay, you can do that. I was thinking, homebrew elf mercenaries in that one. With 7 different monster types, including 16... Oh, I already read that. I'm getting tired. There's only 2 of each of the elf variants. That gives so many different options, quest to quest. Well, the thing is, if you already have Mage of the Mirror, and you add this on, yeah, there's more stuff. But again, the quests are not... I don't think the quests are going to ask for more than you actually have in the box. They're not going to assume that you own more than that. But would they do something, as we've speculated in other streams, would they do something where, like saying, well, if you do have this one, here's a spot where you can add it in, like an idea. Because a lot of kids are just going to be like, okay, yeah, here's 50 monsters. Okay, I won. Like, that's not much fun. So some little guide on how to do it. Okay, yeah, welcome to the other people in the Twitch chat. Thanks again. Yeah, this is Elverg is giving a lot of commentary. He says, it's an easier path to getting potions and reusable items, caltrops, potion, reagent, kit, smoke bombs. He's one of those old gnomes. Hi, Dumai Montalto, welcome. Yeah, I was commenting on... I was asking Elverg, this new system in Rise of the Dreadmoon with these tokens, I was thinking, like, how is that different than a quest just giving you a bunch of gold? And you go to the alchemist shop and buy stuff. But now they're saying, well, you get a token, and you cash in the token to buy the stuff. And I was agreeing that, okay, there's a story element to it. It's saying, well... It's kind of like in Space Crusade, like the Eldar, unlike the Space Marines who fight for, glory and honor, and, they want these big medals pinned on their chests after they kill all the monsters, all the aliens. Whereas the Eldar, they're like, no, they just get distinction, and they just get influence, and they get reputation, and it's like they get these ethereal honors rather than just here's a chunk of gold I'm gonna like bolt onto your armor to prove how awesome you are. But in the end, it's the same thing. It's just kind of like a story. It's a lore idea. In the end, it's the same. So there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, like, are they adding extra complexity to the game that's not necessary? I mean, some people love the idea of HeroQuest being more complex. They're like, oh, it's too simple. It's too easy. I need more stuff to do. I need more stuff to think about when I'm playing. I need more like stuff to handle in my little pile. It can't just be a character sheet. It's got to be like a bunch of stuff. And that has its own appeal. Thanks, Elberg. I appreciate it. I'm not gonna like challenge any of your points when you're gone because you're not here to defend yourself. I appreciate it. I like when people push back and say, no, no, no. I think you're wrong. I think it's this. I could be. It could very well be. And we haven't played any of this stuff, so we don't know. I mean, maybe it's a lot of fun. Maybe it, is great, and we have nothing to worry about. I mean, I'm not worried. I'm just thinking out loud. Like, what's this going to be like? Guess we'll find out at Gen Con, if not before. I mean, the thing is, as this stuff gets revealed, you can just play it. You don't even have to buy it. I mean, of course we're going to buy it, but yeah. Dumai Montalto says, the expansion looks very cool. Luke Rocks, welcome. Wow, this news came out right on time. Yeah, I did. Dumai Montalto says, I'm wondering if the heroes are going to see the Dread Wraith more than once in the expansion. Yeah, I think so. I think that's what we're thinking. The fact that it's a regular enemy. Unless the final boss is somebody else and it's like, oh yeah, and here's my Dread Wraith. He's going to kill you. Like, here's my pet. So, yeah. Rise of the Dread Moon. So, yeah, when you watch the replay, you can go ahead and rewind all this. So, thank you to the HeroQuest fans community for sharing all this stuff. I mean, Reddit is its own thing, but the fact that people bring it here, I mean, we're not going to get spoiled. And so, what was in Carmine's thing that he was telling us? He was telling us we were going to, on the 15th we'll find out. So he said there was something on the 15th we would find out and we would realize like what he had done or something. So it's like, okay, well, with that ominous thing there, I guess we'll find out something. But if the fans spoil it all, which I hope they do, come on fans, spoil everything. I want you to spell out every inch of every quest map for all I care. I mean, I want to know what I'm buying. And the thing is, like, I don't care if you spoil all the quests. I'm just going to remix it anyway. It's not like you can fool Zargon. Zargon will do what he always does. He'll just change it up. What about Sir Ragnar? He's not in there. He's nowhere to be found. So I'm just guessing then, well, we're back to what we were thinking before. I mean, disguises are a thing in the game. But he could be anybody. I'm Spartacus. No, I'm Spartacus. I'm Sir Ragnar. No, I'm Sir Ragnar. He may just be a story character, a background character. But again, remember, you've got the game system here. So you just put out the Chaos Warlock. There's Sir Ragnar. Oh, I killed him. Okay, he's dead. I mean, maybe it'll be that simple. We don't know. He's on the cover. He's mentioned in the text on the back. He exists in the game. That's my point. He exists in the game. He does not have a unique miniature to represent him. And he doesn't have a unique tile to represent him either. He's not on a card either. Unless, Sir Ragnar takes the form of a Dread Cultist or a Chaos Warrior or a Dread Wraith. I mean, he could be. Maybe you fight him several different times. I mean, think about the game system. What did Wardaz or Carlin look like? He just was a zombie. What does Sir Ragnar look like? Chaos Warlock. There were lots of characters in the other expansions where they were just a Chaos Warlock, a Chaos Warrior, a Gargoyle, a Fimir, an Orc with a big sword, Grak and Ulag. I mean, they didn't have unique miniatures. They still don't. So, yeah. I mean, all you need is just something to differentiate it from the other monsters that happen to be in the room. That's the only thing you need, and then just give them stats in the quest notes. Yeah, you can use the mini from the Mythic tier. Just get rid of that torch in his hand, destroy the collector value, and give him a big sword or something. Sorry, I missed the stream. First impression. Oh no, Luca rocks. That's fine. So just real quick, take a look. So this is all on Reddit. And if you go to the HeroQuest fans Discord, it's the links have been posted. So there's photo dumps from this Vincento guy. What's the name again? Oh, Vincezo, Vincezo, 1985. Posted an hour ago. Well, more than that now. But there was photo dumps, 3 of them. Photo dump as promised of the new expansion, spoilers for cards but no missions, part 1. So he showed all the alchemy cards. He showed the new treasure cards and artifact cards. He showed the dread spells, the dread moon spells as they call them, but that's what they are. These are the treasures. These are the monsters, so they're all there. All 4 of the mercenaries. It's the back of the cards. The knight cards, which we already knew about. No surprise there. It's kind of like the most boring part of it just because we know. But I mean, a lot of people may buy it just because of that, because they really wanted the knight. Of course, they were spending $15 on it as opposed to 45. The tiles. I don't see any Sir Ragnar, do you? Other side of the tiles. This was new because we hadn't seen this before. Maybe that elf man is Sir Ragnar. So there was that, and then when you go to this guy, yes, I'm over 18, so I can see these pictures of HeroQuest. Sorry. Must have your parents' permission to watch HeroQuest, I guess. So this is part 3. Whoops. I meant to go... Okay, so part 2. Again, I'm just re-showing these. These are not new. Message from Mentor. So he tells the story. Again, lore tome malfunctioning. You know, need help. Got to earn the trust of these guys and everything. People are disguised. So hiring mercenaries. Mercenaries are always disguised, regardless of weapons and armor they use. I forgot that detail. So the disguise, when you're in a disguise, it's like stealth. You can only use certain weapons. They do clarify some things about potions. They still say only 1 potion can be passed per turn, per character. So I guess you can't give them 50 potions. Crafting potions. So the wizard is better at crafting potions than anybody else. And it does work with the alchemist bench. Or you can do it between quests. So the alchemist bench has a use now. The wizard can transform a reagent into one of the potions listed on the reagent card. Otherwise, you need a reagent kit. So you got to spend 400 gold coins to do the same thing the wizard does. And you can use the kit 5 times. Which, doesn't that mean if the wizard has a reagent kit, he should get like even more awesomeness? Sure, whatever. It's like the dwarf having a toolkit. Disguises. Okay, so you can only use these weaker weapons. Can't cast spells. Can't wear armor other than braces and helmets. And you got to have a disguise token, unless you're a mercenary. Random potions. So it's not just a straight up potions deck. There's actually some other things. So they work with certain treasures. Certain treasures work with certain alchemy cards. And reputation tokens, so you get those every time you complete a quest. And you can trade it in for 250 gold coins. So I was like, well, what's the difference between just giving you a 250 gold coin reward every time you win a quest? But if you cash it in, you immediately have to use the gold to buy something. And if any gold is left over, you lose it. But it sounds like the reputation tokens are under Zargon's control. So he might give you one under certain circumstances or not, and he won't tell you what you get for redeeming it. So maybe you save it thinking it's going to be something else. So it's completely random. It's just like whatever Zargon was going to do, he'll either do it or he won't do it based on what you do. So it's like, hey, do you like my idea? Yes. Okay, we'll do it. Do you like my idea? I don't know what your idea is. Do you like my idea? No. Okay. So you just don't do it. And the next time, well, what's his next idea? Is it something else? So probably this would encourage you to replay certain quests going, okay, well, what if we cash it in here? What would we get? Oh, we got that? Well, that's stupid. Or, oh, we should have waited for the next time. So, could be different ways of doing it. But I mean, Zargon has the power, so if he doesn't like the way it's set up, he could decide to make it something different. Or change his mind and nobody would know. Don't do it, Zargon. It's cheating. Let's see what else. Yeah. This is like the second pass. So there's hideouts now. So I guess to try to make it more story-like, instead of saying, "Oh yeah, you just left the dungeon and went into town and bought all your stuff and rested up and polished your armor and you're perfect and you come back," it's like, "Oh no, there's this little room that you go into that gives you those things, those between quest bonuses, basically. Not 100%, but a lot of the stuff." So the hideouts. And the lunar tokens actually do let you restore stuff if you're the elf and you're near a sorcerer's table. Okay, so they did explain ethereal monsters. So specters and the dread wraith, you got to roll black shields to hit them, not skulls. So they're way harder to hit with conventional attacks. Unless you're using a spell or artifact to attack. Okay, I missed that part. So the Spirit Blade would have the bonus, and it would use skulls instead, so it'd actually be much better. And like Genie rolls skulls. So ethereal monsters are unaffected by all traps, including caltrops, because people asked about that. They can pass through solid objects. What's a solid object? Is it furniture? I guess, so they can pass through anything. But they can't go to undiscovered locations. So these things help clarify. So in some ways they're more powerful than we thought, in other ways they're less powerful. Because we were thinking they could just hide inside solid rock and just pounce on people. Sorry, I feel like I'm repeating everything for Luca Rocks, but hey, you rock, just like your name says. Not liking the defense dice of the monster is pretty weak. Seems like this expansion adds some complexity to the games, as do my Montalto. I agree. The question is, will people like it? Or will they say, oh, I don't like how complex it is? But when you think about it, during combat, unless it's an ethereal, like it's a clear plastic, you're not going to have to think about changing your combat. If you're in disguise, okay, yes, you're going to have to think, okay, now, I could attack the guy with just the dagger and stay secret, or I could just say whatever and just use my battle axe and not be in disguise anymore. Well, what happens? Well, the townspeople run away. Well, do you have to question them? Why does it matter if they run away? So a lot probably depends on the particular quest. But I just imagine a lot of instances where Zargon has to just kind of stop the action and explain, okay, in this situation we're doing all this stuff. So the GM might have to do more study, which kind of goes against some of the Hero Quest thing. It's like, no, I don't want to do that. I just want to play. But a good Zargon has that stuff at his fingertips so that he can improvise if needed. So a better GM can do all that, because you could just use the app and it just does random weird stuff. Whatever, who cares? Then again, when you think about it, in the Frozen Horror, like the first time you have a Polar Warbearer, you have to go, okay, this guy, he does this. Then again, the monster cards tell you immediately what these guys have. So there's no surprise there unless the quest notes change it. Oh, this Polar Warbearer has 20 body points. But he only moves one square or something. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. But I mean, the first time you see an ice slide, you're like, what the heck is this? And it's like, okay, this is how it works. So the next time you see an ice slide, it's not a surprise. You already know the rules. So the strangers. See, that could be a good storyline thing. What are they? Strangers with no given statistic flee if attacked. So there's going to be some with statistics. So there's enemy caltrops. So there's going to be regular caltrop traps that don't affect monsters, that affect heroes. Just like yours that you throw down that you have to buy affect monsters. And we finally find out what this like ribbone, whatever, this weird shape, this hourglass. It's not a time stop. It's a reputation token. It has a 5 on it. So I guess if you have a 5, that's what you use. Whereas you use a 1 if you have these little shields. There's 10 quests, remember. And you have to unlock the 4 mercenaries. There's only 4. So this is the plaza. So I guess that's where you're meeting these townspeople. So kind of a town, a really small town. If you're born in a small town. So the trapdoors are pretty much the same. They don't. There's no risk of damage. Yeah, the lunar charms. I was completely wrong. Completely wrong about that. It's if the elf has it, he can restore 1 body point and 1 mind point when they search a room with a sorcerer's table for treasure, in addition to any of the other effects of searching. So my homebrew rule was, oh, if it's a sorcerer's table and you search it and there's no note, you automatically get this other thing. You get to draw like an artifact or something. Whereas this is like saying you get that plus this thing. So you could import these rules into other quests maybe and have interesting effects. But where's this arcane prison? Did they just leave that out? Oh, whoops. It's right there. Sorry, Berg. You're not here, but it says rack. So it is a rack, arcane prison. So instead of torturing people on a torture rack that stretches your limbs with ropes or chains and cuffs or whatever, it's this arcane prison. So they throw you in this magic stew and you turn into jello, I guess, or something. You get tormented by magic. So I guess that's a way that they can make it like more kid-friendly, but not really explain, well, what is it doing? Oh, the magic is getting him. The jello is getting him. Ah, not the jello. Yeah, there's always room for jello. Get in there. Yeah. Could be as horrible as you want it. You could paint it all nasty and gross. So, yeah, and we have this underground market. So there's no alchemist shop. Let's see. It also sells all the items available in the armory from the HeroQuest game system. So it doesn't say the alchemist shops from other quests are used here. So interesting. So I guess these replace the alchemist shop ones. Then again, this is just the underground market. Who's to say you couldn't have a quest where it's like, well, we could go to the underground market. We could also go to the alchemist shop from the Mage of the Mirror. We could also go to the alchemist shop from Return of the Witch Lord. You know, it's like, you know, as long as you've got it, who cares? You can do anything. But I mean, when you have two potions and one of them's cheaper and they have the same effect, or one can be used by any hero and one can only be used by one hero, well, you're probably going to favor the one that's more advantageous. So that part makes sense. Yeah. I'm glad, though, it wasn't just, they didn't just tweak the prices. Like, they actually tried to do some other things. So this is the reagent kit. 400 gold coins. It's a lot. I guess Bazargon doesn't agree with the prices. But it all depends on how much gold they give you. If they give you a lot of gold, the high prices don't seem that bad. If they give you only a little bit of gold, yeah, maybe so. Luca Rocks, why did they decide to add all these new elements at once? I could see some people getting turned off by this. Yeah, possibly. I'm worried for the app. I hope everything will work. Yeah, that's true. They created a lot of extra work for themselves. It seems like a lot of changes to the game all at once. It seems like this expansion adds some complexity. Well, that's the thing. What if this is it? Like they're thinking, if this thing flops, we're not making any more new stuff, so we're just going to have to cram all our ideas in there. I mean, what would the next expansion, not Prophecy of Telebro, what would the next new expansion look like? Just the same thing? Oh yeah, you're back to the underground bunker, and now it has these variant potions. Or would it be something completely different? Like, I know I was talking it up. I was saying you could import these rules into the game system. You could play these in Keller's Keep or something. But it's not saying you would. Maybe you would only use these rules within this one quest pack, and that's it. So you go, okay, well, all the 12-year-olds can play this one. The 8-year-olds, you can play the other one that's simpler. It's easier. I mean, what happens if you take these rules out? Would it break everything? Possibly. So, I don't know. But yes, in theory, what it does is it raises the learning curve. And they're only assuming that you've played the game system and maybe Mage of the Mirror. I mean, to play Mage of the Mirror, you're going to have to be extremely patient and extremely, like, tenacious. Or you're going to have a really good Zargon who's good at editing the quests to make them, like, player-friendly. One of the two. So this could be for more advanced players. But yeah, people are going to see hero quests. They're going to expect a certain level of complexity. And maybe this is going to overwhelm them. They're going to go, wait a minute. What are you doing to my hero quest? This is too much. I came here for a nice, relaxing game. This is like, I'm having to do math and, like, worry about stuff and opportunity costs. But you wouldn't have to see it that way. You could just see it as, well, we'll play the quest again, and this time I'll make different choices. Maybe you'll get killed a lot. And so it's just like, okay, man, we should have saved those reputation tokens. I'm telling you. Oh, why did we get out of our disguises? It would have been so much better. We got to play it again. Now, if the quests are good, people are going to want to do it. But yes, when I see a game that's really complex and I'm just like, it's late, I'm tired, I just want to play a quick game, I'll be like, let's just play something simple. I'm not in the mood to like learn a new game. Other times it's like, yeah, teach me this new game. I'm all ears. Maybe we won't even get to play it. Just teach me the rules. But the best games are the ones that are easy to get into and hard to put down, right? So we'll see if it's the right balance. If they've struck the right balance, if they've done the right alchemy this time, or if it's blows up in their face, like, okay, we'll try again. We'll make the next one even easier. All right, guys. Well, unless there's something else we need to look at, I think this is probably going to be it. Oh, part 1. Sorry. Let me run through part 1 real quick here. So there's the book, 41, or the box, $41, or 41 pounds, or euros, or whatever he got it for. Use euros in France? I think so. Okay. All right, so let me just run through these again. Again, I've showed these already. Credit to the original posters. Oh yeah, these are the alchemy things. Yeah, we saw these. It was the miniatures that we hadn't looked at. So part 2. Is this it? No, this is the book. Where was the miniatures? No missions. Well, anyway, sorry, you can rewind the tape. I mean, with the miniatures, there's nothing new. The only thing new are the candy trays. And I mean, I guess the angles of some of the miniatures, but you've pretty much already seen them already. The stuff that's new this time are the backs of the cards, the backs of the tiles, or I guess the fronts of the cards, because we've seen the backs. We just haven't seen the fronts of all of them until now. And we haven't seen the missions yet. 100%. All right, let me just see if there's any more comments. Don't think the reverse side was ever on Zavi. No, it wasn't. So I just streamed on Twitch. Get my thoughts here shortly. Yeah, so this is spreading far and wide. And the thing is, the fact that these fans already have it means that they can show everything. I mean, there's no rule that says, oh, you can't spoil the quests. Spoil them. Go for it. Yeah, so there's a neat guy, Theodore. He's doing color 3D prints. And I bashed, oh, here it is. I bashed the 3D prints that Hero Forge was doing. They looked like melted crayons. They were just really dull, not very good looking. But his are amazing. Of course, bright primary colors. So there's your mercenaries, your elven mercenaries. These are not necessarily the cadre of the Ravensvale. These are just elven mercenaries that you can unlock. And there's only one of each. And so you don't necessarily own the Frozen Horror, so you just might have... So I wonder if the quests are only made for 4 mercenaries. Do they say you can use other mercenaries? What if you add them in? If you can just make it too easy? So somebody call the Ghostbusters. So yeah, this was the most shocking part. So they put them in the Jello. Fiends. Looks like there's other faces in there too. So there's a bunch of faces, a bunch of Jello faces, and you turn into Jello. What a horrible fate. It kind of looks like an Iron Maiden. I think that was Jacer's comment, which is fictional, by the way, but nevertheless, it's entered the popular consciousness of medieval lore. There's a big face. You can't really see it very well, the detail, but it's a big face and then lots of little faces. Little face. Statues. Pretty cool looking dudes. Sorcerer's table. Delicious chocolate. More delicious chocolate. Actually, these don't look as much. I mean, because at least they're shiny in the photo. So they've got a little scythe, a little tiny sickle, like a ritualistic thing. The knight, the assassin, looks like she's skipping rope. Seriously. There's a candy tray. Looks like there's a blank space. Like they could have fit some more plastic in there, but still. It looks like you're getting a lot of value in the sense that all these little tokens, all these little chits and pieces. Of course, I'm gonna be like, okay, don't trim the fingernails of my thumb and my forefinger so I can actually lift them up. I mean, that's what I had to do for Space Crusade because I'm like, I'm trying to pick up these tiny little cardboard tokens like off the board and I can't lift them off because either my fingers are too big or too flat or something. So anyway, all right, thanks for joining us in HeroQuest fans. Thank you to everybody, and kudos to all the people who are going to put up like higher budget, fancier presentations than I've just done, because this was just off the cuff. I didn't want to do a stream. I'm tired. It's been a rough day, but I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the work you do. Thank you for sharing with the community. And you people out there who have Rise of the Dread Moon, spoil away. Spoil the whole thing. Do pull a Dead Gamer and just show every page. I don't care. In fact, I'm happy if you do that. Because the thing is, even if you do that, you're not spoiling it for the world, because the world knows that Zargon can remix the quests, and he will remix the quests. Just when you think you've got it memorized, he will change it on you. Believe that, right? Oh man, why are we quoting wrestlers on the stream? Oh yeah! Slim Jim. Alright. Han Solo and Carbonite. Han Solo and Jello. Alright, couple more comments and then we're going to call it. Thanks, everybody. And then this will go up on YouTube. Let's see. Dubai Montalto says, the more expansion they release, the harder it's going to be to find a balance between make happy both people that only have the base game plus the last expansion and the one that had the base game and all the expansions. Well, because the thing is, the rules don't say, okay, with the new expansion, you got to combine all the rules from all the previous expansions into it. I see it as more, you're playing Keller's Keep, then the only thing that exists besides Keller's Keep is the game system. Nothing else. This was written with these things in mind. If you want to say, well, but, the treasure deck has the elf stuff in it too, and, there's going to be polar warbears roaming around. You could do that. There's nothing stopping you, but the quest is written in a certain way. So you never have to worry, well, what if I put Born's armor and the wizard's cloak on Sir Ragnar and then give him the elixir of life, and the spell ring? Like, what happens? It's like you don't have to worry about that because you don't have those things yet, right? If you're playing them in the order that they were intended. If you take it out of that context and change it, sure, it's become something new. Yeah, and thank you, Luca Rocks. So it's not, I don't think it has to be that way. So if you don't like the particular rules in a certain quest thing, expansion, you can just remove it or just don't buy that one. But yes, I agree with those people. This is why I made such a big deal about Mage of the Mirror and the Frozen Horror being broken. Because we all know that you can just buy the broken HeroQuest product and fix it with your homebrew because they want you to do homebrew. But the thing is, a lot of people like HeroQuest because it's simple. You can just take it out of the box and play it. There isn't a lot of prep time. It's not like D&D where you got to write this big long story and everything, and you got to worry about, well, what if the heroes go the wrong direction and all this stuff. It's already done for you. So as much as done for you and play tested and it's solid already, and then you can change it up if you don't like something and you just want to, make it, spice it up a bit because you've already played it 100 times and you're bored with it. As opposed to, it doesn't make any sense, it's confusing, it's stupid, and you've got to fix it from the start. Like, you got to do prep work. The thing is, though, fans will do that anyway. So you will already have like fan mods the day it hit, the day people open it. I mean, this guy's already opened it, but I mean, the 15th is still a ways away. On the 15th, you'll already have mods for it. If you want to look around and find them, there'll already be people making suggestions. And the point is not to steal someone else's suggestion. It's to modify it into your own thing. But my heroes are going to be way stronger than the ones they only finished the base game. Well, that's what I'm wondering. Is it just a matter of Zargon playing more aggressively? Or is he going to just take matters into his own hands and say, yeah, you know how I said there was only 2 orcs in the room? There's actually 8 orcs in the room. Like, is he going to do that? Or, yeah, there's goblins, but they're wearing armor, and they've got crossbows, and there's a head goblin who has, like, a bunch of magic spells. Like, you could do that. As opposed to something silly like, oh, before they entered the quest, you know, a huge storm hit and stole half their gear or something, or, you know, thieves stole all their gold. Like, that would feel cheap, right? You know, oh man, you had to pay the city sued you for all the destruction you caused in saving everybody from the last battle with Zargon. So you lost all your gold. You had to pay the fine. Ungrateful villagers. You know. But yeah, the heroes being strong, but at the same time, it's like, what's to stop? I mean, what's wrong with retiring a hero at a certain point? Just saying, okay, with this pack, we're starting from scratch, or we're starting with a brand new hero. You know, it's not Bildar the Barbarian who has, like, you know, 2 battle axes coming out of his ears. It's like, he's just a regular barbarian. Why not? Or he's a knight this time, or he's a druid or something. But yeah, there are definitely people who are going to hang on to stuff. And so, yeah, then the challenge becomes, how do I make it harder without making it like stupid or just a dreary grind? And hopefully they put some suggestions in the box so that budding Zargons who maybe are 10 years old and aren't familiar with all the lore and knowledge of the gaming universe will have like some pointers to go on. But we'll find out. All right, thanks guys. I'm going to end the stream, losing my voice here, tired, hungry. And I just want to say, I hope everybody has happy 4th of July who celebrates Independence Day. Stay safe out there. I know not everybody celebrates for various reasons. But I've got my fireworks and I'm going to enjoy them. So I'll see you guys when I come back. If possible, we will do a Saturday stream for HeroQuest fans this coming Saturday, but I will not be present for the Rantcast. And Strange Bus may do it without me, and it sounds like he's got some awesome topics. So I'm sorry you're going to be missing that. People doing the playtest, I won't be able to do the playtest. Sorry, because I won't be here. But if you're with your families, treasure that time together. If you're with your friends, same thing. Be safe. Don't do anything too stupid. I mean, having freedom is great. So I'm going to wax poetic here. And yeah, having freedom still doesn't mean that you should. There's certain things you can do, but maybe you shouldn't do. Is what I'm trying to say. All right. Everybody have a great night. Take care. See you next time in HeroQuest fans. And we'll see if there's anybody we can raid. If so, I'm happy to raid them. Thanks for joining us.